Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Dr. Nasser Ali, and some of you may already know me from the conferences that we do organized by NANOSMAT. And NANOSMAT's been going since 2005, so it's almost about 16 years ago. And one of the other things that we've recently started is student recruitment, trying to help students, in particular international students from around the world, helping students to get admission into UK universities. So we work closely with a number of UK universities, and we are and the purpose of this webinar today is to inform students that what courses are available and how they could go on about applying to these UK universities for a January 2022 start. And NANOSMAT is here to help you to fast track your application and to ensure that you get admission into these universities. And I'm joined today together with this webinar myself and my colleague, Dr. Imran Patel, who is a program director at the University of Leicester. And the University of Leicester is one of the universities that NANOSMAT works with in partnership in helping students to get admission into the courses. So we will actually go through and give you some information on this topic. And we will not be too long speaking. And the key feature of this webinar is that we will give you opportunity to ask questions, and we will try our best to answer your questions. So Dr. Imran will continue, but I will sort of start. How do we get to this next slide? Okay. Yeah, so the outline of this webinar is, firstly, we are dealing with UK universities and helping students to get into admission into UK universities. So why UK? Why not any other country? So we'll just touch upon that. Then we will place focus on 3 universities in particular, although we have access and we can help students to get admission into other universities as well. But for the purpose of this webinar today, we are going to focus on 3 universities, in particular, University of Leicester, University of Lincoln, and University of Bolton. So we'll be giving you some information about these 3 universities, and then speaking about the admission criteria. So if you're looking to do your higher education studies in these universities, what's expected of you to get admission. So we'll talk and we'll highlight on the admission criteria, and then we'll tell you the next step. What if, for example, if you are interested in studying in these universities, then what do you need to do? So we will try to guide you, and so that you know exactly what needs to be done in order for you to get admitted, so that you can start hopefully in January, February time, which is not too long. We're at the end of October now. So if some of you are really thinking about starting and doing some work, studying here in the UK, then we need to get the ball rolling. So we're trying to give you as much information as possible. And then, as I mentioned, that we will give you opportunity to ask questions. So any questions that you may have to do with your higher education in the UK, where myself and Dr. Imran Patel are here to help you, and we will answer them. For UK, I'm sure many of you may have visited UK, or if not visited, you will know about UK. If we look at the world map, you'll see here in the UK, this small island surrounded by sea. It's in the center, pretty much in the center of the world. So it's a very, the population is about 89 or 90 million or so. It's got a lot to offer, attracts a lot of tourists, a lot of people go there, very cosmopolitan. You have people from all walks of life that are there, and it's an English-speaking country. So that's where UK is based. And if we look at some of the reason why UK, it's very, very easy to get around in the UK. Even if you want to fly into the country, get into the country, there's many, many airports. And in particular, if you see in London, the capital, we have the Heathrow Airport, and that is one of the busiest airports in the world. So after every minute, a flight takes off or a flight lands. So and then we have other airports in almost all the major cities, Manchester, in Birmingham, Newcastle. So it's very, very easy to get into the country. Then also we have a great public transportation system. We have the London Underground, we have the tram system, we have the buses. So it's not like in America where public transportation is not good. In the UK, it's very, very good. And from the UNESCO's World Heritage Sites, the United Nations, 30 of them are found here in the UK. It has national parks, stunning coastline, beautiful villages, countryside. And during the last year and a half to 2 years, the COVID era, because people were restricted from flying out and going on holidays, people started to discover more UK, and there's a lot more that UK has to offer, and it's beautiful. So it's really worthwhile seeing the seaside town, beautiful gardens. So there's so much that UK has to offer. And obviously, we have our the monarchy. We've got the Queen. You see some photos. There are a lot of tourists that come in to see Buckingham Palace in London. We have these photos of London here, the high rises, the London Bridge, and those people we have many football teams as well, depending on which team you'll support. But you see here on the bottom left here, this guy, Ronaldo, he plays for Manchester United, one of the most expensive players in the world. So although he's Portuguese, he's playing for Manchester. So yeah, it attracts a lot of people, fans to their games, and there's many, many teams. So UK is really worthwhile sort of exploring and seeing. And obviously, we have an established education system, for long, many, many years. People are coming here for education purposes. And NANOSMAT, as I mentioned earlier, that we have partnered with some universities. And as I said, for this webinar, we're going to focus on 3 universities, our partnership with 3 universities: University of Leicester, University of Lincoln, and University of Bolton. So if you look on the map, on the UK map, to see where these are located, you see here at the top left here, which is the northwest of England, you have Manchester. Yeah. So that's where Greater Manchester, that's where Bolton is, because Bolton is in Greater Manchester. So it's based in the northwest of England. And then here in the yellow, which is the northeast, with the University of Lincoln, a beautiful city, very quiet, very peaceful, very safe. And then here in the Midlands, in the red, you have the University of Leicester. So if you go from one university to the other, it could take you about 2 hours drive or so. Maybe from Leicester to Manchester, Bolton is probably about 2 hours or something like this, and an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we do have airports here as well. Manchester has an international airport, to get to Bolton. Then Leicester as well, there's airports in Birmingham. So these, if you look at the maps, these are where they are. You have Sheffield here as well, and there's Birmingham here as well. Okay, so these are the 3 universities where they are located. And I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Dr. Imran Patel, who will speak about University of Leicester and other things, who is the program director at the University of Leicester. Imran, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nasser Ali. I'll just spend just about 3-4 minutes on the next 4 slides. University of Leicester is very highly ranked in the world, and particularly in the UK. This year we are, I think, 27 or 28th out of about 150 in the UK. And the University of Leicester sits in the heart of England. And as you can see some of the statistics here, it's the third most affordable city. It's very, very cosmopolitan. And it's about a mile away from city center. So it's not very much in city center, just outside. And the entire campus is on one field next to a Victoria Park. So it's very green. I'll show you a picture in a minute of what kind of greenery you can be expecting in Leicester. It's easy to get to London, up into Manchester, Newcastle, Birmingham, and also it's 21st in the world for sustainability. So these are wonderful statistics. We have 100 years old now. The university is 100 years old this year. Next slide, please. Okay, if you just click on it, I think it'll bring up about a few things. Yeah, just click again a few more time. Once more. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So the University of Leicester is made up of 3 colleges. The College of Science and Engineering, College of Life Science, and College of Social Science, Arts and Humanities. And you can apply in any of these 3 colleges. But I am a program director for College of Science and Engineering, so I will talk a little bit more on that. But College of Life Science and Social Science, Arts are there for you to apply if you wish to. And again, very quickly, we have approximately 15,000 students. So we somewhere in between. We are not the largest university and we're not the smallest, but we rely on quality. We would like to have students of quality background. So these are some of the pictures. I think if you press once more, Dr. Ali, it should come up. Yeah, that's it. So these are some of the pictures of our campus. The top left is Fielder Johnson building, our main building. And on the top right is a couple of, well, 3 rather, high-rise buildings that you can see from the Victoria Park. And bottom left is what you would expect sometime in winter. So as I said, it's in Victoria Park. It's a very large park, green, very, very green, dotted with a lot of trees. People play football there, cricket, people walk around there. And it just takes your minds off, de-stresses you. When you're in lecture, you can go for a walk. You can literally have 1 foot on campus and 1 foot in the park itself. So it just makes you feel very healthy in many ways, actually, visually as well as physically. One more slide, please. And this is another important aspect which I wanted to bring about is these are just selected companies that University of Leicester's work with. Some of my students are with a lot of these companies on industrial placement. So we have a program, you can come in just for 1 year, MSc, or you can come in for 2 years, including industrial placement. So a lot of our students are in Taylor Hobson, they're also in McLaren, Rolls-Royce, Bentley. I only put few company names here, but we have hundreds of companies that we work with. And we help you to find jobs with them, industrial placement jobs. And there are some of our students who have got graduate jobs. So their tier 4 visa has been converted to tier 2 visa. And one of the reasons is that some company only work with University of Leicester. So because they want students from Leicester only. There are a lot of companies, particularly in Leicestershire, who likes to have collaboration with Leicester. So we pride ourselves on quality students, quality staff. We've got the facilities to teach you engineering, the softer side of the medicine, the arts and humanities. We have very popular programs in engineering. Masters of Engineering Management is one of them. Most of these programs are still open for January 2022. If you are looking for January 2022, we do have a lot of options. And if you are looking for September 2022, we got a lot of options for that as well. So this is a paid position with the companies that I am showing you. You'll get a full-time position, a paid position with them. And when you come back to university, you will do a final year project, if you wish, based on these companies' project. I think, thank you very much, Dr. Asali. I think these 4 for now. You're muted.
So yeah, so the other university is the University of Lincoln, and you can see a photograph here, the beautiful historic city of Lincoln. Beautiful city, very, very quiet, very, very peaceful, very, very safe. Yeah, so you can see that. Yeah, so it has over 2,000 years of history. The university is UK's friendliest city, which is great. Yeah, and it's the top 5 happiest places to live and work in the UK, and that's good to know. So although you're studying, it's good to know that you live in a place where you're surrounded by happy people. Yeah, and obviously with happiness, you could be sure that you'll do well in your studies as well. So that's Lincoln. We also have Lincoln offers a lot of scholarships as well. There's the 50% global scholarship, but I think you've missed the deadline probably for that. Or there's 12th of November. There's other scholarships as well for undergraduates, but for postgraduates, you have a £2,000 global postgraduate scholarship. So no matter where you're applying from, whichever country, you could be entitled to a £2,000 global scholarship, providing you get your undergraduate degree 2.5 GPA. And if you're a student from Pakistan and you're applying to study at the University of Lincoln, then you get a £5,000 scholarship. Yeah. So if you want to apply for a January intake, then we need to, if you get your application in time, you'll qualify for a £5,000 scholarship. So again, if it's for a postgraduate, you need to ensure that in your undergraduate, you've got a 2.5 GPA. Okay. So that's very, very attractive from what Lincoln University offers in terms of the scholarships. There's also the University of Bolton, which is based here in Greater Manchester. Another modern university. It's fourth in the UK for student satisfaction. Number 2 for teaching quality in the UK. Top 50 universities in the UK, according to the Guardian 2021. So again, it's a very attractive, and there's the students, how the students rate the university. Here you can see some photos of the university, very modern building. And Bolton itself as a city, it's a very, very cosmopolitan. It's a nice place to live in and to work in. And the city is not also very expensive as well. So it's good to be, and the university, there's a lot of investments that's being made in the university, £32 million integrated teaching, research, and recreational sports facilities, which opened in February 2012. So there's a lot of investment that's gone into the university. So it's a great place for you to consider in pursuing your higher education studies. Now, if we look at, Dr. Imran, you're going to go through that, or?
Yeah. What I can say is that we'll go through which particular point.
Well, generally, okay. So if you apply through us to study in any of these 3 universities, NANOSMAT will ensure that we will fast track your application so that things are processed a lot quicker. Now, as I mentioned, for the University of Lincoln, if you're applying there, you get from Pakistan, students from Pakistan get a £5,000 discount on the tuition fees. And for admission into a postgraduate program, you'll need to get a minimum of 2.2 degree, which is a second class, which is equivalent to 2.5 GPA. Yeah. Now, with the University of Lincoln, there's no credibility interview. So a student, once you meet the criteria, they are not going to interview. There's a lot of other universities that do interview, for example, like Bolton do as well. Lincoln, Leicester don't. But also, yeah, Lincoln doesn't have any credibility interviews. And one of the other thing is that the general requirement for all universities, these three and all universities in the UK, is that you need to have an English language. So the English language typically would be an IELTS. So you need to score about 6.0 in your IELTS. But there's other alternatives as well. There's Duolingo, and so there's other possibilities. But you need to have an English qualification to come and study in the UK. That's a necessary requirement. Sometimes some universities may say that, you know, if you've not got that, you could sort of come then before you start your course, you go on an English course, and you need to sort of pass that. But in all cases, you need to have an English qualification. So at the University of Lincoln, what they also do is they will pick you up, free airport pickup, take you to your accommodation. And the University of Lincoln provides a 50% discount on your first year of your studies at the University of Lincoln. So basically what they're doing, they're contributing 50% of the funds towards your accommodation costs at the university if you study at the University of Lincoln. And the university has its own accommodation. And one of the good things about University of Lincoln is that if you study there, everything is nearby. So you could walk from your accommodation to the campus to study. Even from there, if you need to get to the city center, it's all walking distance. So you actually save on travel costs, which is a good thing in Lincoln. And then there's actually, if you want to apply and study at the University of Bolton, what Bolton do is they offer free accommodation for 1 year. And that in itself is a saving of about at least £4,000 to £5,000 saving. So Bolton do that. You need to apply, fill in a form and that, but you know, you will get, hopefully you should get qualified for that. So Lincoln offered a 50% discount on first year of accommodation, whereas Bolton offer 1 year free accommodation, which is a great bonus, an attractive point for these two universities. And typically the fees for the university for international students range from £12,000 to £17,000. And some universities are even in the £23,000 as well. And you've got to remember that for the UK home students, the fees are £9,000 per year. For even somebody who is a UK citizen, lives and settled in the UK, has to pay £9,000 for their education per year. So an international student is from around £12,000 to about £17,000. And so yes, so if you are interested in studying in any of these three universities, whatever the course could be, you know, Dr. Imran talked about University of Leicester, some of the different schools, but it could be any course. It could be an engineering course, it could be a medical course, it could be some sciences course, it could be whatever the course is, mathematics, so management, business type of course. If you're interested, you know, we will help you. And then what we'll expect from you is if you can email at this email address, info@nanosmat.co.uk. If you could take a note of this email address, and then if you're interested, what you need to do is you need to send us your CV. So with your contact details and everything about your education, academic qualification, your work experiences. So give all these details. Then we want to see your certificate. So if you've done an undergraduate degree, a bachelor's degree, then we want to see the certificate, or you need to show the proof of your qualification. So we need a certificate, and also we need transcripts as well. So if you've done a first degree, we want the certificate and we want the transcript as well. And also if you've done intermediate or A-levels or in college, then if you can give that certificate and the transcript as well, that'd be great. Then also we'll need 2 reference letters. So the reference letters could come from your teachers in university or college or so. So we would need 2, or even if you worked for somebody, then they could write you a reference. And if you've had work experience, then it'll be good if you could provide an experience certificate showing, proving that you've done some work and you've got some experience. Then obviously we will need a copy of your passport and then proof of your English language. So this is what is needed.
Okay.
So
I can take this if you like, Dr. Nasali.
okay.
Now, it just gives you a bit of a breather as well. I do understand that for some of us, some of you, a lot of you, financial commitment, of course, it is a big deal for all of us. So what we're showing here is that officially, you'll have a visa that will allow you to work up to 20 hours per week. That's on campus, off campus, part-time. And that equates to about £10,000 per year that you can earn. So if you imagine that you apply, let's say this week, you will generally have a visa, at least at the University of Leicester and other universities, for a year and a half, 1.5 years, you'll have at least a visa for. So if you were to work part-time, you will make around £15,000. That will pay for your, tuition fees and partly your accommodation and your expenses, depending which university you go to. And then if you do come in January, which means you have to do your documentation this week or very latest next week, you will have 4 months of summer. Next year, you can work full-time. So basically in a year and a half, you can earn up to 15 to 20,000 pounds a year. And you are also aware of industrial placement. So University of Leicester do exercise industrial placement. That's an additional 1 year, and you will make another 20,000 pounds there. So you are looking around 35, 40,000 pounds already for 2 years. And then PSW, post-study work visa, that the UK government has opened up. It will only cost you £2,000 to apply, but in the 2 years, you will be making around maybe £30,000. So, in 4 years, you can make up to about £70,000 living here, studying, working, and you can actually convert your investment of £20,000 into 3 folds. So this is what I wanted to stress, is that part-time work is here. Minimum wage is about £9.50 or something that you will get per hour. You will make your money back providing you work part-time and full-time, when your visa allows you. And you will also receive a free NHS, National Health Service treatment if something goes wrong with you, if you are not well. And we recommend that you sign on to the GP, general practitioner, as soon as you can, as soon as you arrive. And you will also get these what's called national insurance number, where you pay your taxes and insurances. So everything's official, everything's by the book. Okay, and you will not be paying council tax. So as a student, there's a lot of tax that you will be avoid paying. But important message is, a lot of universities, Dr. Nasser Ali mentioned free accommodation with Bolton. I think he also mentioned 50% discount with Lincoln. University of Leicester doesn't have that kind of facility, but we have other facilities. We give up to 28% discount in our fees. We help you find jobs in this placement. So every university has got, highlights. But wherever you end up, whatever is going to cost you, you will be able to recoup that. You will be able to earn that money back very quickly. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think we've done what we wanted to get through. So we'll have time for questions. If there's any questions that people want to ask.
If you're shy to ask verbally, you can type it in the chat box.